In today's video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what I'm ASIC and GPU mining at the end of July 2023. Today's video is sponsored by CryptoCaverns.com. I had the pleasure of visiting Crypto Caverns mining farm and facility back in October. Rows and rows of hosted GPU mining rigs and customer ASICs line their impressive facility, located in upstate New York along a river and hydroelectric dam. The team at Crypto Caverns is now offering the public the ability to purchase GPUs and ASICs directly from their website with no minimum quantity required. I just picked up 5 Galax RTX 3070s from Crypto Caverns, and I'm considering nabbing 3 more to fill a full 8 GPU mining rig. Concerned on quality? No worries. Crypto Caverns has a full 30-day money-back guarantee return policy, as well as volume discounting and free domestic shipping in the United States. Use checkout code 𝐓𝐵HEIST for $100 off any ASIC purchase. Thanks again to CryptoCaverns.com for supporting the hobbyist miner community. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, in today's video, we're going to take a look at what I'm ASIC mining and what I'm GPU mining. Now, I always love knowing what other people are mining. People get into these projects or find these unicorns, and I always really enjoy stumbling across these videos or tweets finding out about this. So leave a comment down below. I'd love to know exactly what you guys are mining right now. Depends on when you're watching the video, but I'm recording the video at the end of July of 2023. I'm going to go ahead now and show you what I'm GPU mining and ASIC mining and what projects I'm investing into. Okay, so let's start out talking about 2 of my older ASIC miners, and that is an L3 Plus, that is a script miner that you get paid out in Doge or Litecoin, and the Gold Shell X5. Now, these units are several years old. They're definitely not as efficient as some of those newer units out there, but I actually have them on Unminable. I am much more interested in the growth potential of Dogecoin. So because they're on Unminable, I'm mining to the Unminable pool, and it's converting all of my payout to Dogecoin directly. No Litecoin at all. And I know, oh my gosh, Litecoin halving's coming up. Why aren't you getting more? It's just, I'm not very well invested into Litecoin. So I've decided to double down, you could say, more on Dogecoin. All right, so taking a look at 4 other units as we kind of go across my top rack here on my mining shelves in my crypto mining shed. If you guys aren't familiar, I have a full video, lots of videos, oh my gosh, playlists on my channel about my crypto mining shed that I built in my backyard for mining. I had to get it out of my house. I'm actually in the process of building another shed at my electrician's house about 5 minutes away. If you guys are curious and interested in learning more, I'll put a link to that playlist down below. You can follow along my entire journey of building that outright. So going across the top there, I am hosting a few rigs for my cousin. He has another L3 that he actually has on NiceHash. He has the original mini Doge. This is the Voscoin version with all the LEDs and stuff on it. And then finally, he has an 8-card rig. And those are all on NiceHash. We'll talk about those in just a minute. But the additional rigs here I'd like to show you guys that are across that top rack. We have one of the Jasminer X4Q, as well as a Jasminer X4 1U. So the Q is the bigger black unit there, and then the X4 1U is the skinny unit. A lot of people call that, Rabid Mining calls that the mosquito miner. So I have those, as well as 2 E9 Pros on 2 miners. Now, I probably would have these on NiceHash, but I found that the Jazz miners and the E9s are just not supported on NiceHash because I'd prefer the Bitcoin payouts, and that's exactly what I'm doing right here. So what I'm doing here is I'm mining to 2 miners, mining Ethereum Classic, but because I put in my Bitcoin address, 2 miners knows to flip that and convert it to Bitcoin. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So every day I'm getting a payout of Bitcoin into my Bitcoin wallet from 2 E9 Pros. I think one's the 33 and the other one is the 36, and then 2 of the Jazz miners. Really efficient rigs across the board, all the Jazz miners and the E9 Pros. These may be some of my most efficient rigs that I have out there, but I really enjoy collecting Bitcoin. All right, let's jump into 𝐓𝐻, and we have a variety of rigs to review here. We have some GPU rigs as well as some Bitmain S19J Pros. So let's head over to our mining shed And let's take a look. Let's get the ASICs out of the way so we can really talk about our bread and butter, our real passion, which is GPU mining. So let's jump down here. We do have the one L3 Plus. That's this second unit here. Let me go ahead and zoom in for you guys, make that a little bit easier to see. There we go. So as I talked about, that one is on mineable. Below that, there's one of the E9 Pros, as well as a second E9 Pro. Now, don't let that hash rate fool you. This is actually a bug within the Bitmain software. It's reporting significantly more. If you go over to pool side, you can see on the pool side, it is not 7, it is not 8 terahash, it is 3.5, 4. From there, there's my cousin's L3 that we talked about. The S19J Pro. So this is a 100 terahash S19J Pro. This is one I actually have on the side of my shed that has its own dedicated intake and exhaust system. This was like my first full-size ASIC. I wanted to make sure the heat from this unit did not affect the rest of my shed. This was long before I got a bunch of full-size ASICs, but it's worked out phenomenally. Now, it's 100 terahash, and you might go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I only see 78 terahash. This is in low power mode until we can get my ASICs moved over to my Shed 2.0 that I talked about, which will have more power. They're in low power mode right now. So that is actually in a test. I have 3 tests running right now. The S19J Pro there. We also have another one below it and another one below it. All 3 of those are 100 terahash units. All 3 of those are on low power mode. We're doing some testing between 3 different pools. I just wrapped up testing these units on NiceHash versus F2 pool versus Luxor. 30-day time period to figure out which pool provides the most Bitcoin to my wallet. If you're interested, I'll put that video up now and down below. So that will wrap up our ASICs, our full-size ASICs. So let's move to GPU mining. That's really my passion. That's really my bread and butter. It's really where I'd love to be more of, and where I hope to have more GPU rigs in the future. The hardest thing about GPU mining, as many of you guys may know and can speak to directly, in the comments, GPU mining is definitely not profitable, or very close to unprofitable right now. Based off your electric rate, you're earning cents per day. Gone are the days of Ethereum where dollars per day per rig. We're in cents per day, if not a negative. But during the bear market is really where you build your bags for these altcoins. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. So previously, I will say I was very heavy on Kaspa mining with my GPUs until Ice River kind of came out of nowhere, let's be honest, and kind of decimated that scene with their FPGAs. And now, with everything changing with Bitmain, we've kind of swapped away from Kaspa with our GPU mining. However, I do have one rig still on Kaspa. This is the Abra rig. My kids name all of my rigs for me based off of Pokemon. So down below, you can see we have all RX 580s is what we're running here. I love my 580s. I can't get away from them. Like, I can't get rid of them. Let's be honest here. I do have them on Kaspa. They're performing pretty well. 59 mega hash there, and watts in the software. That's super important to mention. About 54 watts and lower, give or take, based off of the memory type and off of the model. We do have this on Kaspa right now, doing about 475 mega hash. Jumping to our next GPU mining rig, this one is my Charizard rig, one of my favorite Pokemon out there, and we have this on Dynex. And I'm mining to Dynex really, not because I'm super crazy about the project. I don't have all the research and faith in it, but because this is really where the profitability is currently right now for GPU mining, and I'd like to get the most out of these. So I am on Dynex. I have one rig here. Each of these 3070s is doing pretty good at 7.321 kilohash, and we're sub 100 watts. Huge win. I actually want to give a huge shout out to the Mining King. He helped me get this rig up and running. I really struggled with the flight sheet and getting things configured properly for doing this with Dynex. I am on Deep Miners pool, and I just had a lot of challenges with the configurations. Mining Dynex is definitely not traditional and not the norm. So it was a little bit of a learning curve for me. So huge shout out to the Mining King. I appreciate your help. Down the list of our GPU rigs here, let's take a look at our 𝐓𝐲 rig. 𝐓𝐲 being that legendary Pokemon. We do have it on Flux. I'm a huge fan of Flux. Flux is a big portion of my crypto mining portfolio. Right now we're doing 231 souls on 8 GPUs, and these are the MSI Gamer X 1660 Ti's. Love these cards. These are like jet fighter look to them with the RGBs on the side, somewhere between 28, 29, and 30 souls. And yeah, we're below, what is that, below 85 watts, just hashing away at Flux. Heading back, take a look at some more GPU rigs that we have going on. Let's take a look at Leafeon. And we do, it kind of goes along with the 6600s that we have here. This is a 12 card 6600 rig. We have Hynix and Micron memory in this rig here. We are currently on Radant at 4.9, just about 5 gigahash on Radant there. Each of these GPUs averages 410, 411 based off of how each of them is performing. And each Silicon Lottery, each one does differently. But here are some of our overclock settings if you're more interested with the 6600s. Radant currently right now, I actually have, I'm not like super passionate about Radant. Nothing wrong with the project. It's just not something you can't be interested in and be all about every project, guys. So for me, I'm actually mining this to TradeOgre, and then on TradeOgre about once a month I'm converting it to Bitcoin and stacking with that Bitcoin wallet. Okay, on to our Onyx rig. This is in an Octominer case. I think this is the Miner Dude case, and this is a variety of 3060 and 3060 Ti's. Now I do plan to pull my 3060s out of here, 2 of them actually, and put them in a proof of useful work rig after mining Disrupt, with Flux announcing their proof of useful work benchmarking tool and the platform. So here you can see we have a variety of performance and hash rate going on. 3060 Ti's definitely perform significantly better than the 3060s, but this entire rig here is on Ergo. And Ergo is something that I cashed out of and got out of pretty quickly back after the first of the year, after kind of Ergo and Flux dropped down quite a bit. Cashed out, converted things, moved on with my day. But I've decided to revisit that project based off of recent news and just everything going on with that project recently. I see some real potential with Ergo in the future. So I've decided let's get that bag built back up again. So that's why these are on Ergo. Moving down the list here, we have 2 more rigs here, so hang with me, as well as some stuff at the end. So this is Popplio. I'm not as familiar with this Pokemon, but this one has 1660s and or 6600s, I'm sorry, and 6500 and 6600 XTs in here. 6500 is that weird wild card. We actually bought it after it was announced. Had some trouble with it working with 𝐻𝐻. They supported the GPU, and now we actually have it in this rig. That being said, you can see it definitely doesn't perform as well as your 6600s or your 6600 XTs, but these are all on the 𝐶PO algorithm mining Meowcoin. If you see Meowcoin recently, Meowcoin has really surprised me. I didn't sell any of my original Meowcoin, but I didn't have a ton. But Meowcoin's been really popping off recently, so I'm like, okay, is this a sleeping giant that I can miss out on an opportunity to cash out quickly or convert to? Let me get a rig back on that, especially efficient GPUs. I mean, look at the watts here in the software. 59, 63, 60, 58. That's pretty low. So 115 mega hash on Meowcoin. Last GPU rig, then we got 2 other stragglers to take a look at, is our Squirtle rig. And this one here is a variety of, and it's really named after the fact that this thing has been on Flux for 2 years. These GPUs I actually got from Red Fox Crypto originally, visiting him for the very first time. And you can see it here. Boatload of different GPUs in here. 2060, 2060 Supers, 1070s in here. All performing relatively around the same. And these cards just, they've been on Flux since day 1 that I started 2 years ago. And they've been non-stop on Flux. They're workhorses. They work really well. Should or could I sell them? Yes, but there's a little bit of sentiment there being the first rig on Flux, so I've decided to just keep on keeping on with these GPUs. So now let's go ahead. Those are my GPUs, most of my ASICs. I have one other ASIC, which is actually an FPGA. It's my first FPGA, and that is the Miner M2. That's the unit here. You gotta love this interface here. This one I've had my challenges with overheating because it is out in a shed and it can get 95 or higher on my intake side. That's what you're seeing a boatload of those alarm counts for. But I do have this up and running right now, and I do have it on hash pool, and I do have it mining over to TradeOgre as well. If you remember, we talked about one of our other rigs mining Radant. Well, that's what my M2 is on. So if I go back here, I have the Leafeon rig, all the 6600s, those are on Radant, going to TradeOgre, and this Miner M2, which does Kaspa, but I moved it off of Kaspa after Ice River kind of came out, decimated that to Radant. And my understanding is as Ironfish as well, it supports. Right now I have it on Radant, and it's going to Trade Ogre, and we're cashing it out to Bitcoin every single month. Now, the last one I picked up, which I just got this, I haven't even had a chance to make a full video on it yet, but I wanted to get it plugged in as soon as possible. And that here is an Ice River. Not one of the big boys, but for me as a home miner, the Ice River KS0. I've had it running for almost 24 hours, 23 hours, 12 minutes, up and running. Huge shout out to Fully Electric for helping me get this set up and configured properly. Just a few questions along the way with it. Things I was overlooking, but cooling's good. I haven't had to add additional fans to it, 35 to 42C, so it's been running really well. And that one here, going over to Kaspa Pool, you can see we're doing pretty well. We're just under 24 hours. As we said, we're just shy of 24 hours, and we're all 756 Kaspa. Like, my GPUs can't touch that at all. Performing really, really well. Really happy with it. Just sitting right here behind me, hashing away. It's not too loud. The heat isn't too bad coming off of it. So I've been really, really happy. All right, guys, so that's it. That is everything that I'm mining. GPU mining, ASIC mining. So my FPGAs in there. I'd love to see your comments. Any surprises, concerns, questions, leave them directly down below. I also want to know, what are you guys mining? What do you got your stuff on? Are your rigs off? Are they on? Let me know down below. Last thing I'll leave you guys off on, I've started a new website. It's nothing crazy, but it's a landing page for my brand and the community. And this is 𝐕𝐢𝐝HobbyistMiner.io. Huge shout out to 𝗟عني in the community. He helped me get this set up. It's entirely powered by Flux on the Flux network, running off of Flux nodes. This site here is very much introduction to me, who I am, what I like to do within the scene, as well as how I'm helping other individuals in the scene. You can go over here and take a look at my YouTube channel through here, Twitter, Discord, Telegram. You can shoot an email directly to me, or if you're interested, you can also schedule time with me one-on-one if you have questions, comments, or concerns, and you'd like to chat one-on-one about it. There's actually a scheduler right over there through SuperPeers that you guys can do that with. Also, if you're a brand within the industry and you'd like to connect in order to partner and work together in the future, you can do it right here at 𝐕𝐢𝐝HobbyistMiner.io. All right, guys, that's it. We're out. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, give it one of these, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.